What is up, everybody? Jester here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I've been talking for ages about doing different things with this channel, and that starts today. What we're going to be doing today is upgrading our setup. As you can kind of see behind me here, we've got a nice 3-screen layout, but I'm finding with all the streaming and all the editing and everything, it's just not enough. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to install 4 of these guys. These are AOC 19.5-inch monitors. They do have an HDMI as well as a DVI, which we won't be using. There's going to be some challenges that come with it, and we're pretty much going to revamp everything, get everything cable managed. It's very hard to see, but at the bottom, it is a rat's nest of cables. So hopefully we get that all fixed up today. And yeah, I'm not necessarily a tech YouTuber, but definitely wanted to share the experience with you. All that being said, let's get to work. Now, the first thing that I wanted to make absolute certain of is that everything was supported beautifully. We have these Vivo vertical mounts that will end up standing up something like this. It's basically the exact same thing that those 2 are set on. And by the way, those are 22-inch monitors. What I found when I had 5 of those was I felt like I was very enclosed because we're working in a very small space here. I don't show you guys behind the scenes stuff very often, but it's not a huge space, so I'm trying to make the most with the space that I have, and usually that means going vertical. So definitely want to have a good support. I think this was $30 or $40 at the time I bought it. You'd have to look it up now. But that's what we're going to be using to mount all the monitors today. And yeah, let me get everything unboxed. We'll start mounting. Now, I know this part's going to seem pretty self-explanatory, but we're going to take our little brackets and we're going to match up the holes here. And we're going to get these screwed in real nice and tight. And I have these nice little screws that have these nice big little handles on them, so it makes it pretty easy to get everything down in there. And the way that this bracket's particularly set up, I'll have to put one in from the bottom and then one in from the top, or the other way around, however it works out. But because there's a big connecting bar here in the middle. So we want to make sure we get everything good and tight so that when we have that one on the bottom, we're going to have to screw it into the table or the desk with that happening. So let me get all these finished up, and then I'll show you what it's going to look like when it gets on there. Now that I got all those put on there for the first 2, I actually have to take the second one down. So we got to go over here and pull off the 22-inch monitors. And I think what we're going to do as we go is kind of unplug everything from the desk so I can clean up the desktop really nice. And we can figure out exactly how we want everything to go. Again, these monitors are going to be a couple inches smaller. So we may be able to move that main monitor over to the right a little bit. And I think I actually want to tilt the table or the desk out this way just a hair to shoot back that direction versus shooting straight back to the door. I think that'll look better for the backdrop and the overall product. With all that done, it's time to get this desk emptied up, and we'll come back and we'll have a blank slate here for you in just a few minutes. And through the magic of television, all right, so as you can see, everything's off of there except for our mic boom and our light, because I do need to have some light here in order to work. And for our cable management, you can start to see the problem there at the bottom. Look at all those ratty wires that are just everywhere. So I think what we're going to try to do is we're going to use a couple of things in conjunction. First of all, we're going to do this. These are just the they're not the regular old zip ties. These are actually the Velcro, so they're very reusable. And then I think along the back side of the desk, I'm going to run these, which are just little brass hooks, so it'll be hidden. And we can actually just kind of run the wires as we get them bundled up, down through, over back to the computer. That should make it pretty clean. So let's just kind of see where we want everything to go, and we'll start working on the wires. All right, so as you can kind of see, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to figure out the spacing. I want everything to be pretty tight. So I don't know that we want to do too much on the side. Like I have, that bar is actually on this side of the desk currently. It's way over on this one. I may have put that to the back and then bend these out and around, and then bend these out and around. And then from there we'll figure out where the microphone and everything else is going to go. I'm pretty certain that this is where I'm going to want my, my light, because that's going to be on the back side and it should be up out of the way. And hopefully that's putting up enough light for you guys to see. But we have already started cable management. I know it's really difficult to see. Let me see if I can pan over there real quick. With that light, there's a couple of ties on that now. We got one up here, we got one down there, and you can't see the cable coming down. And then I can just kind of link it directly into that if we want to, and that'll pretty much hide everything. So let me kind of work on this a little bit more, and we'll figure out how we want to get it done. Okay, whew, that took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I think we've got everything spaced just about right. There's a pretty equal gap on both sides between the main monitor and where those are at. And there is a swivel where I can move those in just a little bit and kind of enclose the space. We'll work on height here in a little bit because I know that eventually I want that main monitor to be up about 2 inches but I'm gonna have to buy a riser or put something underneath it to kind of fit the bill for that, because I don't have anything currently. We may go look for something to see if there's something I can use temporarily to raise it up, and that way it'll be just where we want it in the end. From here, I think what we're gonna wanna do is get everything wired up and cable manage as we go. I think that's the important thing, is to just get it cable managed as we go. I will kind of show you some of that behind the scenes and show you how we're managing to channel these things coming up here in just a second. All right, guys, now that we've got everything kind of in place, what I basically want to do here is I want to start using these hooks along this line to where everything comes down and goes. The beautiful part about this particular Asus Tough Gaming 32-inch curve is it's got a pass through. So I can put anything that's out in front directly through here, bring it down, bundle it, and then spin it back over this way so we can send it off to the PC. I think we also probably want to put a couple of hooks down here, potentially, just in case anything does kind of drop down like this, and we can kind of wrap that up. But yeah, I think we're getting pretty close now to being able to start plugging stuff in. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to do my best to hold this steady, but we've now got all the wires ran for the monitors. These two are going to come down off of here. And then you see the kind of mess that happens here, but that all comes down to a nice little central point. We've got it all zip tied. There's still going to be a bit of a mess, but each thing is kind of independent, and I might even try to clean that up just a little bit. But up here you can see everything runs back. This one bugs me a little because it's a little off center, so there's not a whole lot I can do about that, but it is what it is. And then you come back down over to here. We got everything kind of channeled through those hooks, and yeah, it all comes down pretty much where we want it. And then we ran the power cords down this leg, back into the middle where our big power brick is going to be. I think it's going to look pretty good. Let me start getting the accessories put back together, and then we'll get everything in place. I'll show you what it looks like. And after a couple hours work, I am super excited to get into my new workspace. We do have 5 fully functional monitors. The one up here on the top left, which is my 5th monitor, we had to go back into the BIOS and enable the onboard graphics. Once we did that, we just restarted. Everything popped up. And then we had to go into the display settings and make sure everything was kind of touchy so you could move the mouse around to all screens freely without having to go up and down and around and all that good stuff. The only thing that I'm going to change going forward is going to be this monitor is going to come up 2 to 3 inches to kind of center the whole thing. Plus that gives me more of a direct eye view, because I'm a little taller, and I kind of look down at that monitor a little bit. I couldn't find anything to kind of prop it up on for today, but I will be working on that going forward. But I'm super excited, man. I'm super happy, and this is the kind of content that I really want to make, is the stuff, the IRL stuff. And I'm really pleased with how the cords are kind of put together now. Still a little messy, but everything is separated, and I'm pretty sure as long as I know where everything's at, I can get to working on something, no problem. Hopefully you guys like this. If you do, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. There's a lot coming up. Till next time, bye.